Men, let's get one thing straight. When a woman starts losing interest, most guys panic and make it worse. They chase harder, beg for attention, or try to fix things. That's exactly why she pulls away even more. If you've ever felt like a woman was slipping through your fingers and nothing you did made her stay, this is for you. Here's the brutal truth. When a woman starts to lose interest, your reaction decides everything. Most men do things that destroy whatever attraction is left. They act needy, emotional, and desperate, thinking that if they just explain how much they care, she'll come back. But attraction doesn't work like that. You don't convince a woman to like you, you make her feel something for you again. This video will show you 7 things you should never do when a woman loses interest. If you make these mistakes, you'll push her away for good. But if you handle things the right way, you can flip the script and make her see you differently. This isn't about playing games. This is about understanding what really makes a man attractive and how to hold your power when things start going wrong. If you do this right, you'll not only stop losing women, you'll make them chase you instead. So listen carefully. Every section in this video is something that most men get wrong, and it's exactly why they end up heartbroken, confused, and feeling like they weren't good enough. It's time to break that cycle. Now, let's get into it. Here are 7 things you should never do when a woman loses interest, and what to do instead. Before we start the video, I want to remind you that my exclusive online course on mastering the dating game is available now. If you've been learning from my YouTube videos, you're only scratching the surface. This course goes deeper, teaching you everything you need to know about the dating game, from approaching a woman to building real attraction. We just completed section 4 in the course, and these insights aren't shared anywhere else. It's easy to access with multiple secure payment options. There are only 5 discounted slots remaining using the promo code. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or check the link in the description to enroll now before the offer is gone. 1. Chasing her. The moment a woman starts losing interest, most men's first instinct is to chase. They text her more, call her more, ask her what's wrong, and try to force a connection that's already fading. That's the biggest mistake you can make. The more you chase, the more you kill attraction. Women do not respond to words, they respond to emotion. And when you're chasing her, the only emotion she feels is pressure. Think about this. When a woman was really into you, did you have to convince her to reply to your texts? Did you have to remind her how great of a guy you are? No, she was already thinking about you. But when her interest starts dropping, the worst thing you can do is act like a salesman trying to close a deal. Attraction is not something you negotiate. It's something she feels naturally. Women know when they have the upper hand. The more desperate you seem, the more she pulls away. She won't say it directly, but every slow reply, every excuse, every sudden busy schedule is her way of testing you. She wants to see if you're the kind of man who holds his value, or if you'll crumble just because she's not giving you attention. Here's what you need to do instead. Stop chasing immediately. Pull back. Give her space. Let her feel your absence. When a woman senses that you're not desperate for her, something shifts. Instead of feeling suffocated, she starts wondering why you're not trying so hard. And that's when she starts thinking about you again. A practical example of this is simple. If she starts taking hours to respond, you take longer. If she cancels plans, don't ask to reschedule. Just move on like you don't care. This doesn't mean playing games or acting rude. It means showing that you are a man with options, confidence, and self-respect. Most men can't handle this. They feel like if they don't chase, she'll be gone forever. But the truth is, if a woman is meant to stay, she will. And if she isn't, no amount of chasing will keep her. The only way to win in this situation is to show that you're unaffected. If she cares, she'll come back. If she doesn't, you just saved yourself from wasting time on someone who was already checked out. 2. Seeking closure. When a woman starts losing interest, a lot of men go into interrogation mode. They want answers. They start asking her, "What happened? Did I do something wrong? Are you seeing someone else?" They feel like if they could just understand why she's pulling away, they could fix it. But here's the truth. Closure is a trap. Women don't lose interest because of one specific reason that they can explain in words. Attraction doesn't die because of logic. It dies because the feeling isn't there anymore. And when that feeling fades, nothing she says will make it come back. If you ask her what's wrong, she'll either lie to protect your feelings, say she needs space, or give you some vague excuse that only makes you overthink even more. The worst part? Even if she tells you the truth, it won't help you. If she says, "I just don't feel the same anymore," what can you really do with that information? You can't talk her into liking you again. You can't convince her that she's making a mistake. All you do is put yourself in a weaker position where she sees you as a man who needs her permission to move on. A man who values himself doesn't beg for clarity. He sees the signs, he understands what's happening, and he makes a choice. He walks away with his dignity intact. This is what most men fail to do. Instead, they chase closure, hoping that if they just hear the right words, they'll feel better. But real confidence comes from not needing an explanation. Think about it this way. If a woman was madly in love with you, would you need to ask her why? No, you'd feel it. She would show it through her actions. So when she starts pulling away, it's the same thing. You already have your answer. Asking her for more just makes you look weak. A real life example? Let's say she suddenly becomes distant and stops texting like she used to. The average guy will send a long paragraph saying, "Hey, I feel like something's off between us. I just want to know what's going on." But a man who understands his value, he sees the shift, and instead of begging for answers, he pulls back. He becomes less available. He focuses on himself. And because he doesn't seek closure, he naturally becomes more attractive. This is what separates men who keep their power from men who lose it. Women are drawn to men who seem unaffected, who don't need validation, and who move on like their life is too important to waste time searching for explanations. The more you try to get closure, the more she pulls away. But when you stop needing it, that's when she starts wondering if she made a mistake. 3. Being too available. One of the biggest mistakes a man can make when a woman starts losing interest is making himself too available. Most guys think if they just show her how much they care, always be there for her, and prove that they're a good man, she'll come back. But in reality, the more available you are, the less valuable you become in her eyes. Women are drawn to men who are a challenge. If you're always there whenever she calls, always free when she wants to see you, and always responding instantly to her texts, she starts to feel like she already has you completely. And when a woman feels like she has a man with no effort, she stops valuing him. Think about it like this. Imagine there's a guy she's really attracted to. He's busy, he has things going on, and he's not sitting around waiting for her messages. When he finally gives her attention, it feels special because she had to work for it. Now compare that to a guy who's always available. His attention is too easy to get, and because of that, it's not exciting. A woman's attraction to a man isn't just about how he looks or what he says. It's about how he makes her feel. And when a man is always available, he makes her feel bored. There's no excitement, no tension, no mystery. She knows she can have him at any time, and that kills attraction. Now here's what most men do when they feel a woman pulling away. They double down on their availability. They start texting first all the time. They respond immediately whenever she reaches out. They cancel their own plans just to be with her. And all of this does one thing. It tells her, "You are more important than my own life." That is a turn-off. A practical example. Let's say she used to text you first every morning, but now she doesn't. The weak man will panic and start texting her first every day, trying to keep the connection alive. But the man who understands attraction, he matches her energy. If she stops initiating, he stops too. If she takes her time replying, he takes even longer. He lets her feel his absence. And because he's not constantly available, she starts wondering what he's doing, who he's with, and why he's not chasing her. Men need to understand something very important. When you pull back, it doesn't mean you're playing games. It means you're showing that you have self-respect. You're demonstrating that your time is valuable and you're not going to give it to someone who isn't showing the same effort. Being too available makes her comfortable, but distance creates desire. If she knows you'll drop everything for her, she won't feel the need to chase you. But if she senses that you have a life, priorities, and options, that's when she starts wanting you again. 4. Over-expressing feelings. Men are taught that if they just express how much they care, a woman will appreciate it and fall back in love. They think that telling her, "I miss you," "I don't want to lose you," or "I still love you" will remind her of the good times and bring her back. But this is one of the biggest mistakes a man can make when a woman starts losing interest. Why? Because women are not attracted to words. They are attracted to emotions. When a man starts pouring out his feelings, he thinks he's showing honesty and vulnerability. But in reality, he's pushing her further away. Women don't pull away because they need more words. They pull away because they are no longer feeling the same level of attraction and excitement. A woman doesn't lose interest in a man she sees as strong, independent, and in control of his emotions. But the moment a man starts over-expressing his feelings, she sees weakness instead of strength. Instead of seeing a man who knows his worth, she sees a man who needs her validation. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man needing reassurance from a woman who is already pulling away. Here's what happens when you overexpress your feelings. She stops seeing you as a challenge. Women want to feel like they are earning a man's love and respect. The moment you start giving her all your emotions without her putting in any effort, she sees you as too easy. She doesn't feel excited, and she doesn't feel the need to chase. She starts feeling pressure. The more you tell her how much you care, the more pressure she feels to feel the same way. And if she's already losing interest, that pressure pushes her away even faster. She loses respect. Women respect men who are in control of their emotions. If you act like you can't handle the idea of losing her, she sees you as weak. And once respect is gone, attraction follows. Let's take a real-life example. Imagine a woman starts acting distant. Instead of pulling back, the guy sends her a long message saying, "I just want you to know how much I care about you. I don't understand why things have changed, but I still feel the same way about you." Now, how does she react? She doesn't read that message and think, "Wow, I need to get him back." Instead, she feels even less attracted because he just confirmed what she already knew. She has all the power and he is chasing. The better move? Silence, distance, self-control. Instead of over-expressing your feelings, you show through your actions that you are not desperate. If she senses that you're moving on without her, she'll start to question her decision. But if you give her all your emotions on a silver platter, she'll feel even more certain about leaving. Now let's get into the next mistake, the one that makes her see you as completely unattractive. 5. Trying to win her back with nice gestures. A lot of men make the mistake of thinking they can buy back a woman's interest with kind gestures, gifts, or grand romantic acts. They believe if they just show her how much they care, taking her out to fancy dinners, buying her flowers, writing long heartfelt messages, she'll suddenly realize what a great guy they are and come running back. But that's not how attraction works. When a woman starts losing interest, it's never because you weren't nice enough. It's not because you didn't give her enough attention or because you forgot to surprise her with flowers. It's because she stopped feeling that deep emotional attraction to you. And no amount of gifts or nice guy behavior will bring that back. Here's the brutal truth. When you try to win her back with nice gestures, you look desperate. Women can sense when a man is acting out of insecurity, and when they do, it repels them. Instead of seeing the flowers as romantic, she sees them as a bribe. Instead of feeling special, she feels guilty or even annoyed. And most importantly, she sees a man who is trying to compensate for something. A lack of confidence, a lack of masculinity, a lack of emotional control. Think about it. Women chase men who don't need to prove themselves. The moment you start trying too hard, you send the message that you feel unworthy, and she picks up on that. A practical example, let's say a woman has been distant, barely responding to texts, and acting like she doesn't care. A guy who doesn't understand attraction will panic. He'll send her a long message telling her how much she means to him. He might even show up with a gift, hoping to remind her of the good times. And what does she do? She pulls away even more. She starts replying even slower, or worse, she ignores him completely. Now imagine another man in the same situation. Instead of trying to buy back her attention, he does the opposite. He gives her space. He stops texting her first. He doesn't react emotionally. He focuses on himself. And guess what happens? She starts wondering why he's not chasing her. She starts thinking about him more, not less. And that is what brings a woman back. Not gifts, not sweet words, but the feeling that she might be losing something valuable. Here's the key takeaway. Women don't want to be won over. They want to feel naturally drawn to a man. And that happens when he remains confident and in control, not when he's bending over backward to impress her. Now let's move to the next mistake, the one that makes her feel completely disconnected from you. 6. Seeking closure from her. One of the biggest mistakes a man can make when a woman loses interest is chasing after closure. He wants to know why she's acting different, why she's not responding like she used to, and what he did wrong. He starts looking for answers, thinking that if he just understands the situation, he can fix it. So what does he do? He asks her, "Did I do something wrong?" Or, "Can we talk about what's happening?" Maybe he texts, "I just need to understand where your head is at." But here's the hard truth. Women don't give real closure. They don't sit down and explain in detail why they've lost attraction. Most of the time, they don't even fully understand it themselves. When a woman starts losing interest, it's rarely about one big thing. It's not because of a single mistake or moment. It's a slow shift in how she feels about you. And attraction is something that happens deep in her emotions, not in her logic. If you try to get her to explain why, she'll either give you a generic excuse, "I'm just not feeling it anymore," or "I need space," or she'll get frustrated and pull away even more. The worst part? Seeking closure makes you look weak. When you beg for an explanation, you're sending a message that you can't handle what's happening. Instead of coming off as a man who accepts reality and moves forward, you look like someone who needs her approval to be okay. And once a woman sees you like that, her respect for you is gone. A real life example. A guy notices his girlfriend isn't texting back like she used to. Instead of pulling back and focusing on himself, he starts asking her questions. "Are we okay? I feel like things are different between us, do you?" The more he pushes for answers, the more distant she becomes. She stops responding completely, and eventually she just says, "I think we need a break." Now imagine a different man in the same situation. He notices the shift, but instead of seeking closure, he pulls back. He doesn't ask her what's wrong. He doesn't beg for answers. He just matches her energy. If she pulls away, he pulls away too. Suddenly, she starts wondering why he's not chasing her. She starts missing the attention. She realizes that he's not affected like she thought he would be. That's when she starts coming back. Women are drawn to men who remain strong and unfazed, even when things aren't going their way. When you stop seeking closure and walk away without an explanation, you send a powerful message. You're a man who doesn't need anyone's validation. And that kind of man is the one women regret losing. Now, let's talk about the final mistake, the one that destroys any last chance of regaining her attraction. 7. Staying friends with her. When a woman starts losing interest, some men make the worst mistake of all. They agree to be her friend. They think that if they stay in her life, keep talking to her, and remain close, they'll eventually win her back. They believe that if they just prove they're a good guy, she'll realize what she lost and come running back. Let me make this clear. Staying friends with a woman who lost attraction for you is the fastest way to kill any remaining respect she had for you. When she suggests, "Let's just be friends," she's not giving you a path back into her heart. She's giving you a seat on the bench while she moves on with her life. She's keeping you around as an option, a backup, a source of validation. Meanwhile, she's out there meeting other men she actually feels attraction for. Think about it. If she truly saw you as a man she wanted, why would she demote you to the friend zone? A woman will never put a man she respects in that position. She only does it when she knows he's too weak to walk away. A real-life example. A guy is dating a woman, and she suddenly starts acting distant. Eventually, she tells him, "I think we should just be friends." He doesn't want to lose her completely, so he agrees. He stays in her life, hoping she'll change her mind. But what happens? She starts dating someone else, and he's stuck on the sidelines, pretending to be okay with it. Meanwhile, he's miserable, watching her give another man the love and attention he wanted. Now, let's look at a man who understands real power. When she says, "Let's just be friends," he responds with strength and clarity. "I'm not looking for friendship. If you don't want me as a man, then I'll be moving on." That's it. No begging. No trying to convince her. No sticking around like a desperate fan. He walks away completely. And guess what? This is when she starts questioning her decision. She expected him to stay in her life, to keep texting, to be available whenever she needed emotional support. But now he's gone. Suddenly, she's the one feeling the loss. She starts wondering, did I make a mistake? That's when she might reach out, trying to get his attention again. But by then, he's in control. Here's the bottom line. Men who accept friendship after attraction is lost will never get that attraction back. The only way to make her reconsider you is to show her that you have the strength to walk away and never look back. When a woman loses interest, most men panic and make desperate mistakes that push her away even more. They chase, they beg, they try to fix things, but all they do is destroy any last bit of attraction she had left. The real power move is to do the opposite. Pull back, stay in control, walk away with confidence. Women are wired to be drawn to men who don't need them. The moment you show that you can live without her, she starts questioning everything. So don't break yourself trying to win her back. Be the man she regrets losing. If you're serious about mastering the dating game, don't miss out on my exclusive online course. We go beyond what's covered in these videos, giving you powerful insights from the first approach to lasting attraction. Only 5 discounted slots remain, and it's easy to enroll with secure payment options. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or simply click the link in the description to secure your spot. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now and start transforming your dating life today.